We are seeing the first cars get out on track. The likes of Danny Rick F1 in the Alfa Romeo, Dat Sergel in the Red Bull, TTM Adler, Inek Lover down there as well, and Time in the Renault there. So yeah, looking very spicy out on track already as we have the first cars come out here. The other Alfa Romeo is out there as well, of Brownito Supreme. These are some very interesting names.
TTM Dave is coming out onto the track now, starting his out lap. Furby yet to come out.
TTM Dave, the championship leader.
As
all he needs to do is finish ahead of TTM Furby, and he will win this title here today. It's going to be really interesting what setups these guys are running, as well as their pit stop strategies. It is a short qualifying session. TTM Dave is on those soft compound tires, and TTM Furby is also on those soft compound tires. We see Danny Rick F1, the first man to cross the line on his first flying lap. I'll take you on board with Danny Rick F1 in the Scarlet Red Alfa Romeo. Going through turn 1 and 2. Easy flat in a 2020 F1 car. Brake around 75 meters there for turn 3. Short shift up to 4th. Downshift to 2nd. And then short shift up to 3rd. A lot of drivers using first gear for turn 4 to get that extra rotation on the apex of the corner. Now down to Brooklyn's, I believe, and if I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. He does set a first.
we had a spin at turn 1.
Had a spin at turn 1. I wonder who that was.
Tim May is now back going now, but he had a spin.
Ooh.
About took out his teammate coming out when he's coming out of the pits.
Wonder if the two Red Bulls are gonna give each other the toe. They're pretty close to each other. Danny coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Through Chapel.
Both have invalid laps, so they cannot set a time at the stands.
Okay. Yeah, Danny, purple first and second sector. It is turning out to be a very good lap from Danny. Obviously, he's the first one to have set first and second sector times. But that's beside the point. He is a very quick driver coming around the final corner. What is the benchmark for everyone to beat? It is a 24.6, and that is a very impressive time indeed. I think that's faster than my time trial already.
Bad part is he can beat it easily.
Yeah, Danny Rick F1, definitely one of the quickest guys in this tier. One to look out for in today's race. Let's go on board with TTM Dave. He's the next one that we should look out for. He's going through Stowe and through the final chicane. I'm not quite sure of the name, so I apologize. Through the last corner. Get the power down early, but not too early. Don't want to spin. Coming across the line, he goes P2. Half a second behind.
25-1.
As the other Alfa Romeo of Supreme has been DSQ'd from this session for blocking the pit lane. And I think he was allowing some faster cars to go by on their hot laps. And I wonder if he just came to a complete stop. And that's a big no-no.
Oh, Furby just got an invalid lap now.
Oh, no. Wonder if he is gonna...
He's pushing for another lap now.
Yeah. Probably the smarter choice there to try and set a consecutive flying lap then. Going through turns 1 and 2.
Little lockup coming into 3.
I think...
fairly clean, though.
Very, very clean indeed. That might just be because of the track temperature. We did see Danny Rick lock up there as well. So, who knows? Maybe this track warms up a little bit. He does set a fastest Sector 1. Dub Z in the Williams car goes P3. Actually, I say that Brembo in the Mercedes now goes P3 with a 26.3. That can definitely be improved on there. TTM Furby going through Cops now, the old turn 1, and then through Maggots and Beckett's. He does have a little bit of traffic in his way, and hopefully that traffic will clear for him as he goes into the final part of the lap. He does not set a purple sector 2, so he is kind of on the back foot going into this third sector. 5th gear instead of 6th through Stowe for a little more extra rotation. Of course, it really doesn't matter through Stowe as it's a high-speed corner. Going through the final chicane and out of the final corner, easy flat, short run to the line, and a 24. That's an insane lap. Insane lap indeed. The two McLarens line up P3 and P4. TTM Dave's teammate, I'm just going to call Squish, goes P4 with a 26.2 ahead of the Mercedes of Brembo. Danny Rick is on another flying lap.
Oh, he's starting his out lap.
He is on an out lap.
Right ahead of Furby.
Let's go on board. So let's go on board with Sauce Boss now. He's on a flying lap, consecutive flying lap it seems, and he's just invalidated again. The Williams driver there going through cops just got a little too eager on those curbs, and that's going to cost him flying a lap then. Dat Sergel, the first Red Bull out on the track behind I believe that's an AlphaTauri on track there, is going on to the old start-finish straight as we await his teammate Inek to exit the pit lane as well, along with third place man in the championship, TTM Shady, who has retired from the session. So very bold call from TTM Shady. He is going to start P15. If I actually pull up the championship standings, I'm pretty sure there's really not much for him to lose. He's sitting P3. He can't catch the top two. And he's not going to lose out to Danny Rick in P4. Even if Danny Rick wins, he's not going to have enough points to take P3. So, you know, he might just be screwing around, doing a little cheeky last to first challenge at the season finale then. Qualifying is always the most boring part to commentate. There's not really much going on.
Always is. Not much battling, just people setting lap time.
Unless somebody crashes. And that is not meant to be a commentator's curse.
Wow, Danny took a wide line coming out of left field.
I didn't really catch that.
Using all the curve.
You know, Cops
Coming into Maggots and Beckett's now.
Cops is a really tricky corner on this game. It looks like a straightforward corner, you know, you just turn in and hope for the best, right? As Danny sets a purple sector 2 then, so he's going even quicker on this lap. He's currently just over a 10th down on TTM Furby there in P1. But if you run an oversteery setup around this track, which most people do, it is super easy to spin. And Danny Rick does not complete that lap. He backs out of it at the very last second there. So I'm wondering what happened to him.
Trying to save the tires. Didn't want to start on that set if he couldn't beat his lap.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted a benchmark.
Just to see where he was in all three sectors. I definitely think Danny Rick is a little bit faster than TTM Furby in the middle sector. TTM Dave, as
Danny
I said it,
gets a better run.
TTM Dave, the championship leader, is out of qualifying.
Crashes through cops.
In my defense, I did say it was not meant to be a commentator's curse. But that is the championship leader out of qualifying then. Which is bad news indeed for not only him in his bid to win the Drivers' Championship, but McLaren's hopes to fend off Racing Point in Mercedes in the Constructors. They're 10 points ahead, so they can easily lose that at the end of this race. But for TTM Dave's sake, let's hope not many people improve on their current lap times, which that's not looking likely for TTM Dave then. So poor Dave in the McLaren He'll start P3 at best. I think he'll drop down all the way to P6. Because Enoch still has to settle out.
We got Furby on another lap.
TTM Furby then. And I think seeing his little icon, TTM Dave's icon at the bottom of his screen that he retired from the session, it's going to be a big confidence booster for the Racing Point driver, finishing up these last few minutes of this qualifying session. Just goes through Brooklands now. Easy 4th, 5th gear corner. Then really get the rotation. Really easy to spin on the exit of left field there. And easy to run just a little too
very
wide.
dicey.
Let's see what this middle sector is from the Racing Point driver then. Going through Cops where TTM Dave has just crashed out and will be starting P3 at best here in the qualifying session.
Oh, very sloppy through maggots.
Definitely.
But still purple.
Yeah, I think TTM Furby is definitely...
Nearly a 10th up.
He's definitely very, very strong through that middle part of the lap then. And he goes through Stowe and into the final few corners then. A little bit of a lockup going into the chicane, but that's no biggie. You can still get the car rotated, get on the power really early, up to the line, and it is not an improvement.
Does not improve.
Looks like a very clean.
He was in 5th gear coming out of the second to last corner.
Ah, I wonder if he backed off from that one as well, just like Danny. Sauce Boss goes P4 with a 25.7. Very impressive lap from the Williams driver. I think he's going on a consecutive flying lap here. He's got a little bit of traffic up ahead of him. That's Adler in the Alpha Tauri there, just getting out of the way for him. So that is one less person the Williams driver has to worry about then, and he just has to pass TTM Furby.
As we have Bravo go P4 now, ahead of the Sauce Boss.
Definitely. It looks like a very close fight between the two Williams and the two Alpha Tauris. Speaking of them, I believe they're both midfield teams. Let me check the constructors. So Alpha Tauri is currently sitting P4 behind Racing Point. It doesn't... no, they cannot... they will not be able to take P3, but they are susceptible to losing their P4 to Alfa Romeo today, who have been looking strong with the likes of Danny Rick F1. Williams then is in P8 in the standings with 44 points, and they can definitely lose out to Ferrari, and it is technically possible for them to catch Renault, but is it realistically possible? Just based on the qualifying session right now, I would say no. So that's where we are currently. I think it's going to be a very, very good battle for the lead then between TTM Furby and Danny Rick. Maybe we'll see TTM Shady come through the grid as well. Who knows? As some of these drivers are starting what will be their final flying lap. Let's go on board with Dave's teammate, Squish, in the other McLaren. He's currently in P6 with a 25.6. So for Dave's sake, he'll be needing to improve. Actually, I believe he just finished a hot lap, if I'm not mistaken. Enoch down there in P14, 27.6. Very underwhelming from Enoch there in the Red Bull driver. I think that is a lap that he can definitely improve on then. Tim A in the Renault. Just going through turn 1, brake right as the curb starts, going into turn 3. Short shift up to 4th. I've been seeing a lot of short shifts through turn 3 and 4. Ooh, as the Renault actually spins it, gets onto the grass, keeps it out of the wall for his sake. He is on a wheel, so spins are a little easier to control on this game on the wheel. But that is a hot lap gone for the Renault driver. Danny Rick improves by 0.5 of a second to go P1. He is on provisional pole. The Alfa Romeo driver then, currently P4 in the standings. He goes P1 with a 24.1. Very, very, very impressive lap. But what can TTM Furby do in the Racing Point? to try and close that gap. Are we going to see a lap in the 1:23s? I certainly hope so. And we are inching ever closer to a possible 23:9 for one of these drivers then. The gap between P1 and P3 is a little under 1 second. More than 9.5 tenths of a second. I'll just say it's 1 second because, you know, Danny Rick up there has a 24.1. Dave has a 25.1. So I'll just say it's a second gap, even though it's not. 18 100ths, or 13 100ths, excuse me. Daddy Long Q in the Ferrari, I believe that is, has crashed at Cops, actually. So I apologize. Another commentator's curse then, as you see the stricken Ferrari off to the right-hand side there. Very bad news for Ferrari, wanting to take back P8 from Williams in the Constructors standings. He is currently out of qualifying, and he needs to rely on his teammate that did not show up today. So Ferrari have a one-man job against the two Williams then. So who knows what'll happen today. Very interesting indeed. And it comes across the line then, and he's going to have to set a consecutive flying lap. This is going to be his last chance at a flying lap to move himself further up the grid then, as he had invalidated his last flying lap. So as his teammate actually retires at the exit of Chapel, I believe that is. Let's go on board with TTM Furby. He's going to come through that section, and we're going to get a very nice shot of the stricken Red Bull if the in-game marshals, the virtual marshals, don't do some magic and just... Yeah, it's almost parked on the racing line, in fact. TTM Furby sets a purple second sector. I think this pole position is going to be very close between Danny Rick F1 and TTM Furby then. TTM Furby coming through Stowe, takes so much speed through that corner. Braking right as the curb starts. No lockup this time from the Racing Point driver. Going through fourth gear through the penultimate corner. Out of the final corner. It's easy flat. Short run up to the line. And it's not going to be P1 then. TTM Furby P2 with a 1:24.464. And unless Bobro can do something about TTM, or excuse me, Danny Rick F1's pole position, Danny Rick in the Alfa Romeo racing car is going to be on pole position, as the AlphaTauri does go ahead of the McLaren of Dave then. So McLaren, the best qualifying that they could get today is P4 and P8 after Dave's little incident at Cops. So yeah, who knows what it's going to happen. Michael, you have any predictions for the race today? Any just random out of the blue predictions? Okay then. I can't hear you if you are talking.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I think Shady's gonna get a podium this race. I think he's gonna be able to drive through the field.
He is quick, isn't he?
Oh, he's really quick. Mad quick. If he would have qualified, definitely would have been up there for the fight for pole.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen then? It's going to be pretty interesting. The two Red Bulls down there starting P12 and P13. The other I couldn't actually see. The other Alfa Romeo got disqualified from this session, unfortunately. So he starts P16, excuse me, his teammate on pole position then. Tomei and the Renault couldn't get another flying lap in. He starts P14. Of course, the two Red Bulls, as I just said earlier, start P13 and P12. Brembo in the leading Mercedes here today. Not a very good qualifying for Mercedes then. He starts P11. And Daddy Long Q starts P10 for Ferrari. The only Ferrari to have showed up to this race today. Dubsy in the Williams starts P9 with Squish, Dave's teammate then, in P8. Adler starts P7. Captain Duck P6 in the Renault there. Sauce Boss in the other Williams P5, so great qualifying for him. TTM Dave, the championship leader, trying to hold off or fend off TTM Furby, who starts P2.
I guess, or they might have done the formation lap and we were just...
Well, 5 red lights are out and we are underway then. Danny Rick gets an insane start there. Lots of wheel spin. Going into turn 1, Danny Rick leads from TTM Furby in the racing point. Then comes the lead AlphaTauri. Then DTM Dave maintains position. He's being pressured by Captain Duck, who goes down the inside and now around the outside at turn 4 to take P4. Gets a really bad exit. TTM Dave keeps hold.
We had a crash turn
of
one.
the P4. That is correct. Adler, I believe, has gotten involved with a crash with Ferrari then, and TTM Shady has made up 4 positions already, and we're not even done with the first part of the first lap then. Inik Lover has made up a couple positions. He's starting on the medium compound tires, so is Brembo in the other Mercedes then, as Brembo is going to make a move on the Williams here of Dub Z down in the Cops, down the inside in the Cops. The Williams tried to hold it around the outside, gets squeezed onto the curb a little bit, and that is not the place you want to be. It's Danny Rick who currently leads them from TTM Furby, then the AlphaTauri of Bobro, then TTM Dave, then Captain Duck, and I believe we have had another collision. No, that is not another collision. It's just a very slow Ferrari at the back there. Then comes Captain Duck in a McLaren sandwich with Dave's teammate Squish down in P6. The Sauce Boss leads the best. Well, I don't want to say the best for the rest, but the midfield then in P7. Then comes Brembo in P8. He's squeezed by the 2 Williams. P9 is Dub Z as we start the second lap of this race then. What an opening lap. TTM Shady is being pressured by Inik. Actually, no, he was just pressuring Inik, excuse me. He is up into the points-paying positions then. So very good opening lap from TTM Shady to move himself up. And it is currently P7 to P10 is staggered. Williams and Mercedes then. I was going to say Williams and Racing Point there for a second. But no, Williams and Mercedes. And then, obviously, Captain Duck in that McLaren sandwich. Then Danny Rick, an 9/10 lead already over TTM Furby. Furby dropping back a little bit, maybe just not used to this heavy fuel load. Almost goes wide at Cops there. Not to worry, though. Keeps it well within the track limits then. He is definitely going to want to close up to to Danny Rick, F1. Bobro is dropping back from this field. And then dropping back from Bobro is crucially the championship leader, TTM Dave. And if the race were to finish in these positions, Furby would take home the title then. And McLaren would win the Constructors title. But really great opening lap from a lot of these drivers, only making one little bit of contact then.
Squish and Captain Duck are fighting hard for P5 and 6 right now.
Let's go on board with the McLaren driver.
Squish comes into turn 1. Keeps it, he's right up his diffuser, gets a little bit of a gap there.
Watch the Sauce Boss around the outside in the Williams. He has his nose in. Is he going to try it? No, he's not. Couldn't quite get the job done. The Mercedes of Brembo is on those medium compound tires, and if he can just manage them for a little bit longer, he might have the run at the I was going to say he might have the run at the Williams there, but he's already down to 25% ERS there. The energy recovery system in these turbo hybrid F1 cars, so not doing too good for the number 1 Mercedes.
As Shady goes around the outside of Dub Z.
Yeah, very impressive move as Inik now down the inside of Cops. Let's go on board with the Williams. He clears the Williams even before Cops, and the Williams might fight back here because Inik absolutely dog water line out of Cops there. Thankfully, he maintains that P10. All of these drivers' ERS are seriously low. I don't know what these drivers have been doing on this opening lap then. Let's go to Danny Rick F1. He still has around 50% ERS. He's made a 1.1 second gap from TTM Furby. That's really what you want to do on these opening 3 or 4 laps. Make a 1 second gap so the guy in P2 cannot get DRS, and that makes sure that they then have to use more ERS, which puts them at a more vulnerable position later on into the race because they usually have more pressure than you trying to attack than defend. Bobro really drop it back. TTM Dave maintaining that 1.5 gap to the AlphaTauri in P3. Dave really needs to get a move on here if he wants any chance at defending his title. or his title lead as it stands at the moment. After this race, we're going to see what happens, but it's not looking good for the McLaren driver. It is looking good for McLaren overall in the Constructors. TTM Shady has just gotten past his teammate. He's up into P8, 7 positions already. I think your bet might come true, Michael.
Definitely close between P5 down to P9. Only split between 2 seconds is that whole field.
Yeah, the top 4 really making gaps, and then led by Captain Duck. A massive train all the way between the 2 Renaults, really. I mean, the Renault starting and the Renault finishing this long straight between P5 and P13 then. Are we going to see any sort of move whatsoever? TTM Shady getting past.
Shady sends it.
The Sauce Boss down into turn 1. Fantastic move for TTM Shady. Is the Sauce Boss going to fight back? No, he's not. He's a very clean driver, and he is not going to do that. TTM Shady now chasing after the McLaren of Squish, who may be in contact with his teammate Dave here, and Dave might be telling Squish to just make it a little more challenging for Shady to get past. I don't know if they are in contact during their races or not, but if they were, that would be what my guess would be. Dave telling Squish then. As we start lap 5 already. Danny Rick maintaining that 1.2 second gap then. Danny Rick definitely has the pace to win this race if he can just keep it on the black bits of the track and not get an a warning. After 2 warnings, you get a penalty. I think he just did a little power slide around Cops there. He's back in, just got a little loose.
Ooh, Shady running really wide at Cops.
All these drivers have no ERS then. They have absolutely burned through their ERS, which is going to make overtaking a lot more difficult through them. Shady is understandable, as he's overtaking quite a few people, but a lot of these guys should not be burning through their ERS like this, you know?
What's keeping Captain Duck out in front of these guys right now is he has about 20% more ERS than everyone behind him.
TTM Shady wanted to go down the inside of Squish, and just a little too early on the brakes to go for that dive bomb then. Well, it wasn't really a dive bomb. They were side by side, but Squish was able to fend it around the outside, hold off the Mercedes man there, so definitely making it hard for TTM Shady to get past him, as Shady could not do it at the first opportunity that he had. Captain Duck also has track position around here, and Squish, being 4/10 back with no ERS, really doesn't help him that much. I believe he has around...
He's definitely going to have to save it up. He's going to have to save up ERS to try and make a move on him. He can't get close without it.
Definitely. I wonder what we're going to see. I wonder what we are going to see. Captain Duck is lagging all over the place. He is in AI mode now. I wonder if he's disconnected or what's gone on, but Shady round the outside of Cops. Where did that come from? On the McLaren man then of Squish. That was a fantastic.
Oh, Captain Duck's.
I think Captain Duck's having some connection issues or something that's going on. TTM Shady in 6 laps has made up 9 positions. Now it could be 10 positions after Stowe. They're side by side going through Stowe then. TTM Shady, can he hold it around the outside? No, he can't. He yields the position. Oh, is he going to go for the switchback then? No, he doesn't have the momentum for the switchback. But he could get him down into turn 1. Ooh, runs wide on the exit. That's going to be a warning for you, Shady. Don't run wide one more time. Squish wanted to go down the inside.
Oh, but did he crash?
And Shady
I think he did.
Turned in on him.
Squish has spun.
And actually, I don't think Shady turned in on him. I think it was more that Squish understeered through the corner.
Probably took too tight of a line trying to get through turn 1.
Yeah, and he did not.
Unfortunate for him.
He tried. He was pulling a Sebastian Vettel almost. You remember that at the 70th Grand Prix?
I remember that one.
At the first lap, poor Vettel, man. At that first lap, now Squish is all over. I was gonna make a joke there for a second because I was stuttering, and I realize that this is going on another YouTube channel that's not mine, so I can't make that joke.
Yeah, that's why I've been very quiet with what I've been saying.
I guess I could tell you after.
I know what I would say, and I know it would probably not be good.
Yeah. I think you can almost tell what joke I was gonna make, but that's okay. So anyway, Mercedes are looking very, very good to try and win this title. Then it is looking ever darker for McLaren. In both titles, could they be choking this race? Could McLaren lose both titles at their home Grand Prix here today? That would be...
As it would stand right now, McLaren would still win the Constructors.
Well, let's see. TTM Dave is getting, 12 points there?
12 points.
And, yeah.
Shady getting 8, and Brembo getting 6.
So they would close that gap by 2 points, but it wouldn't be enough.
Oh, as Inick almost spins out of turn 4. He is on those medium tires, so will he be able to use his softs to his advantage and get past all these guys?
Let's hope so.
Later in the race.
For his sake, he probably wants a little bit more tire wear. TTM Dave has managed to close up to the AlphaTauri just a little bit more than of Bobro and
just almost within that 1 second range for DRS.
Almost. So nearly. Captain Duck picks up his first penalty of the race. 3-second time penalty. You don't want to be accumulating too many of those around this track, especially with 2 very angry, feisty Mercedes cars in front of you that are trying to challenge for that title. Then of Brembo, who has 2% ERS, and Shady, who has 3% ERS. Then I'm wondering if Shady's tires are just a little bit on the hotter side, as he has had to make some very impressive overtakes in the span of 9 laps. We're already on lap 9 then. That is unbelievable. We're almost halfway through this race.
Flying through it. I'm curious to see if Dave will catch Umbro or not to get the championship.
Yeah, very, very exciting race. Although there hasn't been that many overtakes, the insane amount of adrenaline that has to be going through the likes of Furby, the likes of Dave, the likes of Shady, Brembo, Squish, trying to fight for these titles, and the pressure, the amount of pressure that is being put on them now. And I've just seen a message from Danny Rick in the chat. Says, put the pressure on me. There is quite a lot of pressure on you, my friend, as you have managed to hold TTM Furby behind. TTM Furby, it's no secret that he's been pushing. He's down to less than 20% ERS then, when Danny Rick still at over 40%. So very impressive from the Alfa Romeo. Brembo, 3-second time penalty then on lap 9 of this race. And yeah. As here comes TTM Shady, round the outside of Stowe. Can he get the move done on Captain Holt this time? He wants to fight it around the outside. He gets squeezed by the Renault a little bit. He's going to go down the inside into the final chicane.
As Captain Nut goes into the pit.
Oh, well, my bad. So, a little simpler overtake there. But we have seen the first pit stop of this race then. Captain Duck. About to say another name there for a second. Captain Duck is in the pits, and be interesting what tires he manages to go on. He's going on to the medium compound tires. Very interesting. And honestly, I think they could last
16 laps. Pit window around here is lap 11 to 14, so it'll be close. Definitely gonna be on the worst end of the scale when it comes to the end of this race compared to everyone else.
Right now, this is the most pivotal moment in his race right now. He's the first one to pit. His tires are going to be quicker than the guys who he was just fighting. Obviously, brand new tires and whatnot. Even though it's a step compound, but it's a compound step harder than those softs. The softs have to be dead by now. I wonder what people's tire wear is looking like at this moment in time.
That would definitely be. That's one thing I hope that they add for F1 2020, as we have
the top
Danny Rick, Furby,
4 drivers in the pit lane. I'm surprised Dave didn't try and go for an undercut. Do the opposite of what the AlphaTauri does. Try and push on that in-lap, like I was talking about earlier, to jump the AlphaTauri in this pit stop. But apparently, no risk involved there. And honestly, you know, that might just be the right solution. TTM Shady is also in the pit lane. Inik stays out. Brembo inherits the lead from Danny Rick.
Both Williams are double stacking right now.
Oh no! That is not good news for the two Williams. Shady on those medium compound tires. Dave on those medium compound tires. Let's go on board with Furby. We haven't seen much of him this race. How much ERS is he at? And crucially for him, he has come out right behind Squish. Squish might just defend this position a little harder than he needs to try and elevate Dave's chances of holding that title up just a little bit more. Who knows? Squish definitely has a...
Shady did the overcutting and actually got past Captain Duck.
Wow, the overcut working for the Mercedes man. The Renault might come back at him though through Brooklyn's. Puts the Mercedes under pressure there. Now through left field then, gonna try and get a really good exit. Managed to get a really good exit. Not using that much of the curb like you would normally see. It's definitely keeping it a little bit more conservative, especially with some dirty air. And he's already down below 10% ERS already. So I wonder if ERS management is just pee-pee caca poo-poo during this race.
Around this track, it's really hard too. There's not many braking zones.
Yeah, well, there's not that many heavy braking zones, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you
got, what, turn 3, the end of the Hainer Straight, and then the last couple corners.
Yeah.
So really only 3 spots to gain back ERS this whole track?
Yeah, I think so. Very difficult. You would think that just because it's a little bit of a more lower downforce track that you wouldn't have to use as much ERS. And I think that's where these drivers are really being put off, that they are using so much ERS. I want to say that Furby has really gotten a disadvantage here. He is 2.9 seconds behind Danny Rick, who is in provisional P1, is in net P1, as Inik and Brembo come into the pits probably pretty shortly, wouldn't you think, in these next few laps?
Yeah, definitely by the end of lap 13, we should start seeing them thinking about pitting.
Their tires definitely have to be a little bit on the more worn side of things then. Danny Rick gets a purple second sector. So flying then for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's kept it clean all race. He has had plenty of league racing experience. The Sauce Boss picks up his first penalty of the race. I believe that's his first penalty of the race. Danny Rick, new fastest lap, a 27.5. That is a very impressive lap on those medium compound tires.
He's definitely pushing it to the max right now to get the best pace out.
Yeah. I think he just wants to make as big of a gap as possible to Furby then.
Trying to solidify his win in the books as long as he keeps it clean.
Honestly, this is good news for TTM Dave. If Danny Rick...
But if you're TTM Dave, how do you feel about... You gotta still get past Bobro.
Yeah. That is the... And he's 2 seconds back, 3 seconds back now to Bobro, which is, triple the gap that we saw earlier. However, and also he has Dat Sergel in his DRS, who might want a little bit of a comeback. We have a Ferrari off the track, and I wonder if that was just a mistake. This is a very amazing camera angle, Codemasters. I appreciate it.
You have the wing.
Yeah, I have the wing. I wish I could see. Oh, he spun it again. Oh no. I just wish I could see it.
His tires are probably 100 degrees right now.
Probably more than 100 degrees. As the race leader is going through turn 1 at the moment. He might get lapped here. Not looking good for him. The Ferrari spun again. I guess you could really say Spinala in this instance. Inik picks up a penalty. I apologize. Daddy Long Q, if you're watching this. I'm sorry, man. I had to make the joke. Adler down there in P15. Squish and Dubsy having a little ding-dong battle there. As Dubsy makes the move, but makes it a little bit dirty. And Squish just says, thank you very much, I'll just have my place back then. Moves back up into P13. He's still in that Williams sandwich then. TTM Shady has pit. And actually, if I pull up the tire graphic, because I'm so good at doing that, we can see that he's going to inherit 4 positions as it stands at the moment. Dat Circle, Tim A, Inek, and Brembo still need to pit. Once they pit, he'll be in P5. Chase down TTM Dave and hopefully win the title. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, as TTM Dave needs to catch up to Bobro, who, I mean, he has caught up, what, 2-3 tenths on that last lap to Bobro? So
definitely not making up the gap, though, that he needs to be winning the championship.
I think he needs to bag off the fact that Bobro
gets a 3-second.
Yeah, penalty.
He needs it for him.
I really just thought that was Bobro then. Dat Circle in the Red Bull gets a 3-second penalty. TTM Dave going around.
He's up to 12 seconds now.
Ooh, that is not good. That is not a position that you want to be in if you are down there fighting for the lower end points. I don't even think he'll fight for the lower end points. I think he's gonna be.
He'll be close.
Well,
he's back. He's behind Adler.
I think he's gonna drop to P14. Or yeah, P15. Excuse me. What am I talking about? I forgot how long the pit lane was. Anyway, TTM Dave now needs to activate hammer time. Put the power down. Use all the curbs. Screw tire conservation. Nobody likes that. Flat out. Just push. And
Bobro going for a pass on Team A.
This could go very wrong. And if it does, that would be just what TTM Dave needs to win this title. He needs a podium. And right now,
he needs a podium or fastest lap to tie him, but he really needs to get past Bobro to win this championship today.
Yeah, even if he ties the championship, like I've said earlier, guys, he will still lose the title because Furby has more victories than him. Oh, as Bobro wanted to go round the outside, but Tim A just held him off. Speaking of Renna, then, Captain Duck has lost it at Maggots and Beckett's. Then I believe he reset to track. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but yeah, he's back on track, and he had spun at Maggots and Beckett's then, and this is really, really helping TTM Dave's. He's 1.4 seconds behind these guys now. This is exactly what he needed. Thankfully for the Alpha Tauri, though, he has just gotten past and is back up into P4. Danny Rick is going to have some company coming up the road here in a second of Brembo, who is still leading. He's been fairly conservative all race. TTM Furby has been gaining a little bit of ERS there, as it were, and is he closing up to Danny?
Slightly. He's making a very slight gain on him, but not much.
Very slightly. Captain Duck is out of the session.
Captain Duck has retired.
Virtual safety car. This is going to work well into the hands of Brembo in the championship.
This will be it. I wonder if it'll put him out in front of Dave or not.
If it puts him out in front of Dave, if he comes out in P5, he'll take 10 points. Shady at best is going to take, what, like P5, I think, or P4? Or no, P5. They won't outscore Dave. They'll still need both cars to finish ahead of Dave, I think.
Both cars to finish ahead of Dave, or one to beat Dave and one to finish ahead of Squish, which they already are.
I'm just thinking about this because right now they would gain, what, 18 points? Dave would be getting 12
They gained
points.
6.
So
Yeah.
they gained 6 points. They're down 4 points. where on earth could they gain some of these points? And I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of coordination. We have a Red Bull off at turn 1. Both Red Bulls having some difficulties. That is Innick off at turn 1. Gets back onto the track.
Oh, he just pitted for tires, too.
Oh, no. 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits, then. That is not good news indeed. There for the Red Bull driver.
Oh, and the Sauce Boss has a drive-through.
Speeding under a virtual safety car. I wonder if that was... and yeah, the Red Bull van. Not a good weekend for Red Bull. Where are they in the standings? Let me actually check then. Where he is in the standings. So if I go to the constructor standings, I apologize, ladies and gents. Red Bull are P6 in the championship with 91 points. They are susceptible to lose out to Renault. Realistically, I don't think that's very possible at this point, seeing as Tim A is the only Renault running and he's in P9. And they can't catch Alpha.
You would have to win the race.
Yeah. So here's what I think for the Constructors. I think McLaren are going to take home the Constructors. Mercedes finished P2. Racing Point finished
Very
P3.
close finish.
I'm going to say Alpha.
Alpha should finish
P4. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Innick has just
Innick
purposefully crashed at Stowe as we were on board with him then. If that's not allowed.
Oh, did he purposely?
Yeah, I think he just went straight into the wall at full speed, so
Unless at least his, or if his wheel disconnected or something.
that could have been a possibility as well. Oh no, my controller batteries are low. I'm so worried. I'll make it.
Wow, Furby right behind Danny now.
What has happened to Danny? I wonder if he made a mistake and we didn't catch it. Sauce Boss, another drive-through. Oh, yeah, another drive-through.
Danny has lost at least a second or two this lap. Might be from VSC, but
No, I think he genuinely has lost 1 or 2 seconds. Ooh, maybe not, actually. He's starting to gain that gap. That gap's not... Oh, actually, no, it's coming back down again. It's coming back down again. No, it's going back up again.
he did slow down.
Danny has a drive-through penalty.
Drive-through.
Oh, no.
This changes it all.
That means that Furby will inherit the win. That also means that if Furby wins the race today, he will win the North America Tier title. And that is catastrophic for Danny Rick. He said he wanted the pressure put on him
for Dave.
at the beginning of the race. I mean, we put the pressure on him, and he cracked, unfortunately. That is big news indeed for this Drivers' Championship. If Furby doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't get any penalties, which he doesn't so far, he'll win the title. I guess we could just end the stream
The
here.
Sauce
No.
Boss and that circle. the Sauce Boss and that circle with 15 seconds of penalties.
Oh no, not good, not good. Brambo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Danny Rick serving that drive-through, not good. TTM Furby inherits the lead of the race. And TTM Dave might just be crying to himself at this point, because he knows that no matter what he does, if Furby wins the Grand Prix, he loses the title. Very unfortunate there for McLaren. Their TTM Dave's title is now dwindling away off into the distance. And I just want to see, how long has Dave led this championship?
I think since the 6th or 7th round.
I mean, Furby has really been on a comeback these past few races.
He has.
He's gained 80 points.
Dave has led from round 5 all the way on.
Wow. And Furby on his comeback a very sensational comeback in the standings. He's gained around 80 points in the past 4 races. Is going to take home the title, which is sensational stuff. I never thought in a million years that that would happen. I thought TTM Dave had clinched it. Well, obviously he didn't clinch it, but I thought it was almost certain that Dave was going to win it, considering how much...
The Sauce Boss, another 3-second penalty.
Oof. Not been a good race for Williams then. And their bid to keep 8th, obviously they will keep 8th, as the one Ferrari that has shown up today will score P14 and 0 points. But Dave then, yeah, very unfortunate there for Dave. He could still get P2, which for...
He's within a second.
Yeah. Could Mercedes win this title? They're going to get 22 points right now. Dave's going to get 15. They need 3 more points. How do they get those 3 more points?
You gotta also think, though, Squish has 2 points right now.
Squish does have 2 points. I apologize. I didn't even realize that he had made it back up into the top 10. Yeah, so McLaren are going to grab 17 points. Mercedes are going to grab 22. So yeah, 5 points.
Less than that, because Danny's within 6 seconds of Brembo, and he's going to drop back 6.
Could Danny? Danny can't get a podium. What he could do is grab P4.
He definitely could. He'd have to make up a second on Shady and then just finish within 6 seconds of Brembo.
He's pushing. He's been using a lot of ERS. He knows that he done goofed. And he knows now that he has to push. He's a smart driver. He made a mistake, and he was conserving that ERS in case the unfortunate scenario happened. Said unfortunate scenario happened, and now he could push again. Simple. I sound like Jeremy Clarkson. I sound like I'm explaining something to a 5-year-old. Yeah, 2 Alfa Romeos down there in P6 and P7. They're fighting AlphaTauri for P4 in the standings. Right now, unfortunately for them, they are only going to grab, 16 points. They are not going to take P4. So I think the top 5 in the standings will stay as they are.
16. They're going to get 18 points this race.
That is bagging off the fact that Danny manages to pass Brembo, who, oh, by the way, has a 3-second penalty. So no matter what, you know, if Danny can just get within 3 seconds, he'll take P4.
Brembo has 6 seconds.
Oh, so okay, so he's already inherited a net P4 then.
Yeah.
He can also get fastest lap
You just
here,
can't.
which is on a very quick lap. He's been pushing quite a lot. Actually, let's see what this lap is coming around the final corner for the Alfa Romeo man. 0 ERS, 26.9. These times are definitely ramping up here. Timay gets a 3-second penalty, unfortunately.
That will likely knock him out of the points for this race.
Yeah. Very unfortunate then for Dave, who's going to lose this title as we come on to the final 3 laps of the season finale here. Obviously, this is my first time commentating, but it seems like it's been a very fun and competitive season. At least from what I've seen in the racing here today, it has been a very fun and competitive season.
Definitely a season that Dave will not forget going into the next, trying to come back and win this title.
Danny.
As he merely lost it. As Dave's going to be looking for a pass on Bobro. Going in the Stowe up the inside, runs him wide.
That was a long time coming there for Dave. Bobro, 3-second penalty then. Ooh. That's not good for the Alpha.
Oh, Danny has picked up a 3-second as well.
Not good for Danny either, man. What's going on with these penalties? Obviously Danny's still.
I think this is one of the easiest tracks though to get a penalty on.
Definitely. This, I think, what's another really hard one?
Brazil.
Brazil's
a Mexico.
Oh my gosh, Mexico. No, USA. Bahrain. No.
Japan sometimes, depending on how good you are with your corners.
Danny Rick
has left the session. I think he spun out.
Did he spin and he just
spun out at turn 4?
And he's just given up there.
Left.
That's the man who you are replacing next season.
Definitely gonna be a hard seat to fill.
Definitely.
With how quick he is.
That is very unfortunate. Which, to my understanding, is his last race here in the NA tier. Ends with him quitting or disconnecting, at least, whether that was voluntary or forced upon by his internet connection. The Sauce Boss comes into the pits once again. He's gonna get lapped. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, so Mercedes pick up 22 points. McLaren are gonna pick up 20 points. Mercedes,
not enough.
5 points behind. Or excuse me, are going to be 8 points behind at the end of this if it stays like this. Of course, something drastic could happen. We've seen more chaotic things happen, like Danny picking up a drive-through, completely handing the title over
to Furby.
To Furby, then. The two championship leaders, P1 and P2. Wow, that is insane. Absolutely biblical scenes then. And
we should definitely ride on board for Furby's last lap.
Yeah, definitely. The man who has had a comeback, especially in these last 4 races. 80 freaking points he has gained in these last 4 races. More than 80, I believe. And he is going to come home on his final lap of the final race of the NA tier, at least for this season, to take home the Drivers' Championship, which has been contested for the whole season, mostly between Dave and Shady. Furby entering this triple pact, and in the recent races, after some very, very decent results from the Racing Point man. Dave is going to lose this title, and this just pours salt into his wounds.
A perfect season.
By 1 point. He's going to lose it by 1 point. That's just a pain. That's just pain.
Or he's going to lose it by... no, Danny has fast lap, never mind.
Yeah. Danny does have that fastest lap. Furby coming through Maggots and Beckett's for the final time, coming through Chapel now as well. I always get those corners confused. That's okay. Down the Wellington Straight.
0 ERS.
Just gotta bring it home now. Don't crash. Don't crash. Are we gonna see a Lewis Hamilton? No, I'm kidding. That would be really funny, though. The final couple of corners. The final lap of the Grand Prix. TTM Furby comes across the line. He wins the British Grand Prix, and with it, wins the NA Tier Drivers title. TTM Dave in the McLaren, who has been leading this championship since round 5, is going to lose the Drivers Championship by 1 measly point then. Bobro comes home in P3. Brembo, despite Mercedes' best efforts to dethrone McLaren, will lose out by 8 points on that Constructors title then. Granito Supreme in the now leading Alfa Romeo car. That's a very interesting sight to see. across the line. Sauce Boss, Shady, and Supreme. Is Tim A gonna add to this crash as well? Oh yeah, he is. How about Squish then? No, he doesn't.
Will Dubsy add to this crash? I think he will. Oh, he will.
Oh no. But as we see the final two cars come across the line, Dat Circle and Daddy Long Q. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the British Grand Prix for the NA tier here at TTM. It has been a very, it has been the greatest honor for allowing TTM Dave to allow me to commentate.
As well as me.
As well as
big thank you to him.
Michael. Thank you, Michael, for commentating with me.
Oh, no problem, man. It's a good time.
I'll see you out on
Definitely
track next season.
Yeah, I'll see you.
I'll see you in my rearview mirror. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was a little. That was below the belt. Yeah. Anyway, for the people on the stream, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on my personal Twitch, it is my personal Twitch. So if you want to follow and then subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch bio, that'd be amazing. And if you're watching on the TTM channel, make sure to subscribe for Season 2 content coming very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching.
That is everything for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. For more TTM content, check out the video in the top right. And to join the TTM community, take a look at the link in the description. Until next time, see you on track.